Hi, my name is Gideon Lazarus, and I go to Berkeley High School. And I'm here to talk to you about why torture is wrong, even in cases of national security. My colleague over there, Delon, made a mention of how cruel people can be. And it really is amazing to see people, fly bombs into buildings. And it's quite a horrifying event to watch. But I'd like to start with a quote by Martin Luther King, that hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And that, she went on to ask this kind of hypothetical question, like, would you go back? Would you stop Osama bin Laden? And I think, no offense, it's kind of a ridiculous question. I think it's not about what happened, it's about what we do. It's about how we pick ourselves up and we show the world how do we recover. Osama bin Laden wanted us to fight back. He wanted us to lash out in anger because that was his rallying cry. He wanted us to blindly, bring people into Abu Ghraib and torture them so that he could say, look, they're just as bad as I am. See, our job is when he flies those planes into those towers is to rebuild those towers and say, look, you can't hurt us. We're not gonna take a bunch of people and torture them. We're gonna bide our time. We're gonna wait, okay? And we're gonna find you, and justice will be served, okay? But it will be on our terms, not as I sadly saw an administration took people's passions and turned them into a fear to go and invade one country after another. The way we caught Osama bin Laden was actually not torture. They tried torture. They tortured a bunch of people, but they gave them misinformation. Because when you're in pain, you'll say what you want to say. And whether it's correct or not, it wastes valuable resources and it wastes our time. In the end, it's just good data from using technology and other resources that are available that are much, much more reliable than just, drowning someone. So anyway, then we have the guy who went before me, and he made an interesting Freudian slip where he almost said inalienable. But see, if he said inalienable, his whole argument would be screwed, because they are inalienable, which means no matter what, we have rights as human beings. And he said there's a difference between killing one person and killing 1,000, and I tell you that there's not. One of them is more tragic than the other. There is no doubt about that, but there is always the rule of law. Okay? And in the eyes of the law, you will be punished accordingly. It's not that you are suddenly forfeit of everything. There is some...
By 1.5 minutes.
For questions.
1.5 minutes.
1.5 minutes, go!
2 minutes. Do it. 2 minutes, yeah.
Oh god, where was I? So it's not that there's like a watermark, that there's some level where suddenly, oh yeah, you're not a human being anymore, okay? Because frankly, then we'll have to have another civil rights movement for terrorists. That would be interesting. So thank you. I'll yield the rest of my time to questions.
How much do you think a bucket of water costs?
How much do I think a bucket of water costs?
Yeah.
Probably not, but I think there's a lot of other resources. I think there's time resources, and I think there's actually emotional resources. I think torturing someone changes a person, and I don't think it's in a good way. Like I mentioned earlier vaguely, I kind of skipped over the Abu Ghraib scandal, which, I think a lot of my friends don't even know what that is, and frankly, it's pathetic that, there was this horrible moment, and it was, I don't know, I was younger when it happened, but it's basically what happens is we say, look, it's okay to torture people sometimes. It's that, like, if there's an excuse, suddenly it's all right. And I think that we have to show people, we have to lead by example, that under no circumstances is this acceptable, and, we have to find the moral ground somewhere. The buck has to stop somewhere, okay? Yeah? Oh, I don't want to do it, sorry.
Are you aware that the Manhattan Commission on Abu Ghraib is now in the Hall of Heroes.
The what is now in the Hall of
The
Heroes?
man whose mission Abu Ghraib is now in the Hall of
Wow. I was not aware of that. I'm very sad to hear that. It's like, last quick question? 5 seconds. Well, thank you once again. I'm Gideon Lazarus.